Programming is a bit of an interesting exercise. We use a programming language to try to execute logic, and a lot of times we'll use convenience things like English words. And so I'm going to use an example to show where sometimes the English word definition doesn't always match what is going to be implemented in the underlying code. So let's take an example from Laravel validation. So here I have a very simple example. Let me just walk you through it. So we have some data kind of coming in from a form or from wherever, and name equals ABC. And down here we have some rules. So all I'm saying is I want the name to be alpha, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking alpha, alphabet, it's got letters in it, right? So if I run this, it passes, it's true. And if I add numbers, it fails. If I add a dash, it fails. If I add an emoji, it fails. Okay, doing everything I think. However, what about this? So would you think these Unicode characters should pass the alpha rule? Well, if I run it, you're going to see that it does. Why is this the case? Well, I'm not going to dig too deep into this, but basically, alphabet doesn't just mean ASCII characters. It doesn't just mean Roman alphabet. It means a wider class of things, which is defined in the Unicode standard. And if you really want to geek out on this, there's some really interesting links that'll walk you through all the different reasons between alphabet, upper, lower, all these sorts of things that you might not think about if you're a native English speaker like me. But this may not be what we want in our code. So what if I really mean I want like A through Z, upper and lower? Well, Laravel, I think it's since version 9, gives us this rule. Right? And so when I run that, this now fails, but then A, B, B, Z, 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 this will pass. So that's the solution. And so this is just an interesting example to highlight that this one particular rule, and there's other things like this, may not do exactly what you think it's doing. So it's kind of interesting to dig into the source code of Laravel, play around with examples like this, and make sure, especially when it comes to validation, when you want the data in your system to be reliable and clean and adhere to certain specifications, make sure you really know what these rules are doing and test it. By doing that, you'll really get to know the framework better, and your program will be doing exactly what you think it is. On the topic of validation, I just want to let you know, if you head over to masteringlaravel.io and click on books, we have written a whole book on the topic of validation. And there's lots of little nuggets in there like this that are things you may not have thought about. And there's all sorts of other practical advice that I've learned, and Aaron, my co-author, has learned from years of writing Laravel applications. Please check that out if you're interested.